Judicial branch, their job is to do what?
Judge.
Yes. Interpret laws. Good. Okay? They're up on top. The highest court is the Supreme Court. All right? 9 members. What they have is they will have all cases that involve federal laws or federal crimes. What makes something a federal law is if it occurs across state lines, if it involves something within the United States government. If I was to kidnap somebody and kill them in Minnesota, that would be a state crime. If I was to kidnap somebody, kill them, and then take the body to Wisconsin, that would make it a federal crime because I have crossed state lines. If you do anything on an airplane, that is considered a federal law. Going to federal jail is much worse than going to state jail. Federal prisons are much more hardcore than state prisons in general. Yes?
So then what does it mean when people take cases to the Supreme Court after they've been in state court?
So what will happen is when you take that process, okay? So what will happen is the Supreme Court will have a lot of cases that will be presented to it. They don't have to take any of them. They can choose. The ones that they take are cases that will involve something that's a bigger picture. All right, so if you take abortion, for example, all right, abortion is legal right now. States like South Dakota that are working hard to make abortion illegal, what they will do is they will find people that will be willing to go on trial with the purpose of it working its way up to the Supreme Court. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to challenge pre-existing laws at that point. So any big law, Roe versus Wade, Brown versus the Board of Education, which desegregated schools, none of those were because of, just by chance. These were all cases that lawyers and activists saw as being the case to work its way up. When we look at gay marriage right now, the case that they chose was to work its way up about Prop 8 in California was a pair of 80-year-old women who had wanted to get married. And they said, these are the people that want to get married. This is not undermining marriage in the United States. So you pick cases that are particularly compelling, right? But the Supreme Court does not have to take any case it doesn't want to. So as you appeal your way up, at any point the court can say, we're not going to listen to you, and then it sticks where it is. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay, so the only crime that is listed in the Constitution is treason. And you will see that on page 16. All right, that is the only case that is the only crime that is specifically defined in the Constitution. All right. It is also states, though, that if you are convicted of a crime, you yourself are only convicted. It does not affect your family, descendants, anything like that. Okay? If you are in the Supreme Court, you serve for life. It's a lifetime appointment. Why do you think you have a lifetime appointment in the Supreme Court? What's that? Nope. It's actually not. They have to write down everything that they do, basically. It protects against something. Not quite. I mean, really, that's what it is. So when you think about politicians, right? Politicians make decisions in order to do what, personally? Yeah, get reelected, right? So if you are a judge, the idea is that you are put in, and then you can make any decision you want and not have to worry about being voted out. You don't have to worry about what other people think. You can retire. Yes, you don't have to die on the bench. Yes, you can retire, right? So what that means is that we have seen Justice Kennedy right now was nominated by George Bush, Sr., conservative, and ended up being very liberal, which is exactly what he would not have wanted to have happen. When he does that, there's no way to There's no recourse for the president at that point. So it protects you, okay? They can declare laws unconstitutional or constitutional. All right, so they determine if it's right. They settle disputes involving the U.S. They also will settle disputes involving the states. So if Minnesota and Wisconsin get into some sort of disagreement, the federal court would take care of that. The Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, which is John Roberts right now. The Chief Justice is not the longest standing person. If John Roberts resigns, the new person will be the Chief Justice. It just is where you get in. Okay. The Chief Justice presides over the impeachment hearings. So he is like the one in charge of it. So if the president is impeached, every branch of government gets to be involved with it. Okay? House impeaches them, Senate tries it, the Supreme Court oversees it. Page 18. Last thing. To amend the Constitution, okay? There are two ways that you can amend the Constitution, all right? That you can change it. And an amendment to the Constitution will be in the form of an amendment, which we'll talk about tomorrow, okay? It can start in Congress, where you will need 2/3 of each house, okay? So both the Senate and the House of Representatives have a 2/3 vote that says, yes, we approve of this. Or you need to have a national convention, all right, called by Congress because of a vote of 2/3 of the state legislatures. So you have 2/3 of all the state legislatures, the state of Minnesota, coming together and saying, we need to amend the Constitution. Okay? Ratification, and to ratify something means to make it happen. Okay? What you need to then have is you need to have the legislature of the states approve it, and you need to have 3/4 of states, meaning that 3/4 of the state legislatures, not the Congress, but of the states themselves, have to approve it. Okay? 3/4, 75%. Okay? Or you have to have, again, conventions in 3/4 of the states. So to change the Constitution, the states have to be involved with it. It is not a federal thing to change the Constitution. The states have to do it. This is a way to limit the power of the federal government. Yeah, but you have to have 3/4 of them to agree with it. The Constitution has been amended 17 times total. 18 really. The first 10 are the Bill of Rights, and then there have been 17 amendments since then. So a total of 27. And we'll look at those tomorrow. It involves the pay of congressmen. Not a very exciting one.
So these things we just talked about, there are different ways to amend the Constitution.
Correct.
And you don't
It starts here. So you got to have 2/3 of Congress to agree to it, or 2/3 of the state legislatures basically telling Congress to do it. And once that happens, then to ratify it, it goes to the legislature of the states or conventions in 3/4 of the states. Yes.
Does it have to go Congress and then legislature?
It can go. No, it can go across. Yep.
Wait, what is it? When you do Congress or the National Convention, what is that called? Is the second one like ratification?
So this is to propose it. So yeah, so this would be proposed. So let's say you want to make gay marriage legal in the United States. 3/4 of the states would have to, and this is to make it in the Constitution, not to make it a law, but to amend the Constitution. 3/4 of the, or 2/3 of the Congress would have to approve of it, and then 3/4 of the states to make it a part of the Constitution, which is really hard to do. Questions? All right. This will again be up on Moodle quickly.